Welcome to Vegan Finds, where we're going to turn this into
this Scottish Stovies.
So today's dish as part of Rule Britannia Week is Scottish Stovies, and basically it's a potato dish with traditionally with minced meat. We are using our Trader Joe's Beefless Ground. We got some onions, we got some garlic, we got some potatoes. Potatoes obviously are key. And what I did with these potatoes, I par cooked them already, so they don't take nearly as long. Since the Beefless Ground does not take as long as ground beef to cook, I didn't want to sit there and wait, as I accidentally put some garlic in my mouth thinking it was potato. Not good. So I didn't want to have to wait for the potatoes to cook. So this is kind of a really quick, easy version. The potatoes take 15 minutes to par cook. You put them in cold water, turn up the heat. You leave the skins on. They come right off. You just slice them into cubes here like I'm doing. And what I'm going to do right now is get our pan, put some oil in it, get it heated up, add the onions and the garlic, and then I shall start adding the other ingredients, which will include obviously the mince. We've got some onion gravy that I made, and I'll tell you how I made it in a moment. But let me get this pan going because it's kind of late. I had to erase some of the footage off of our video card, and that took some time. So I shall return with our pan, and we'll get this thing cooking. Sound good. All right, so we've got our onions and garlic in our pan, and we're going to start to cook these down a little bit. I'm going to turn up the heat just a bit. Now, traditionally, what you would add to this, once you added your beef, I'll do that. Did you not open it?
No, I need it close.
All that working out, and you can barely twist the top. Jeez Louise. Anyway, so traditionally, after you add the chopped beef, or as they like to call it over there, mince, to your pan, you'd add what's called brown sauce. Now, you can find it in stores, but what we're going to do is we're going to use vegan Worcestershire sauce. So you can see our onions are starting to become translucent here, and that's exactly what you want in this case. I used about a tablespoon of avocado oil. As my friend Sarah would say, ooh, that's really good stuff. And so I appreciate that. So next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to take 2 packages of our Beefless Ground. They're 12 ounces, so it's a pound and a half worth of ground beef, or in this case, not beef. I mean, this you're going to have leftovers if you unless you have 3 or 4 people who eat like me. You're going to have some leftovers here. I'm just going to use. You just want to break that up. That's package 1. Now, if you can find a 1-pound package, that's probably better. But I only have 12-ounce packages. That's the way the Trader Joe's comes. So I'm using 2 because 1's not going to be enough. 2's probably too much, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. So we're going to add that. Then what we're going to do is add our Vegan Worcestershire to this. And I've also made an onion gravy that's going to go in this. Now, if you wanted to, and you can do this, is you don't actually have to cook any of these things. If you have a slow cooker, you could throw all the ingredients in the slow cooker, uncooked. But Ours is packed away, so we're going to do this the quick and easy way, which is cook everything. And obviously, there we go. Getting it nice and mixed up here. All right, this looks good. Now I'm just going to get my measuring spoon. Add my 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire here. So I'm just going to pour it. I don't know if she shook it. There we go. 1, 2. Now we use homemade because we made this like a couple of years ago. Doesn't really go bad. 3. Before you could actually buy vegan Worcestershire or really find vegan Worcestershire in the supermarkets. Now you can. So I don't know if we'll ever make it again. Maybe at some point we'll show you how to make it, just because it really is tasty stuff to have on hand. Alright, so this is going to cook now for about 3 or 4 minutes. We'll let it kind of, the flavors blend together. If you want to add a little veggie stock to this, or some fake beef stock, which I used all of ours I think yesterday. Gotta check the fridge. But we're going to let this cook for 2 to 3 minutes. Then we're going to add our potatoes and our gravy, and then let it all simmer up until it's basically heated through and nicely done. And that's pretty much it, you know. How easy is that, right? So don't blink. I'll be right back. Okay, so I was able to find some of this, which is the no beef broth from Ocean's Halo. I'm going to add a little bit to it, just because we don't want this to dry out. I'm going to add some potatoes now to this. I'm not adding any salt because the Worcestershire is a bit on the salty side. Does this have, I don't know how much this has, because I think it's low salt. It's got a fair decent amount of salt. I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper to this, if I can find it, which doesn't look likely. The status of my kitchen prep has been terrible of late. In one of the videos, I don't know if it got caught on camera or not, but I broke a measuring cup, one of my nice Pyrex ones that I've had for a gazillion years. So I'm going to start adding in our potatoes here. You can cut them up as however you like, small, large, doesn't matter. Well, smaller, they'll tend to disintegrate. I'm using russet potatoes. I would normally like to use Yukon Gold, because that's my favorite potato. If you watched any of our other videos, you'd know that. If you're new, I'm telling you right now, I like Yukon Gold potatoes. If you feel like sending me a bag, go right ahead. I'll dedicate an episode to you. Oh, it smells good. And now I'm going to add 2 cups of onion gravy. Now you may be wondering, vegan onion gravy, where can I get that? I don't know. So what we do, or what I did, is because my wife is gluten-free, that means I'm gluten-free. And so there's a company called Goodman's, which makes onion soup, so you can make onion dip, you know, for parties and whatnot, and it's gluten-free. A lot of the other brands, for some godly reason, have wheat in their stupid onion soup mix. Doesn't make any sense to me. nor my wife, but lo and behold, I guess it's cheap filler. So the Goodman's works. And what I did was I used it to make soup. So it makes 4 cups, a quart of soup. And to that, what I then did was I added 3 tablespoons of potato starch that I mixed into a slurry, and then basically cooked it until it thickened up into a gravy-like consistency. Now I'm going to take 2 cups of that and I'm going to pour it right into this. Here's our first cup of gravy going in. Got 1 more to go. Now what we're just going to do is we're going to give this a nice right stir. Oh. Make sure our potatoes got a lot of the stuff covering it. And we're going to cover this and let it cook for, I'm going to say 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. Basically you want this hot. So it's getting there already. I'll be back in 10 minutes. I'm going to cover this up and I'll be back to show you the finished product. Scottish Stovies.
These are called Scottish Stovies. No.
Oh my God.
Alexa, stop.
You're supposed to say, here's the final product.
Oh, all right. Here's the final product. Scottish Stovies. Let's try this again. Here's the final product. Scottish Stovies. If you like these kind of recipes, hit the subscribe, leave a comment down below. Give us a thumbs up, share it. Subscribe. Do the thing. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and
hit the notification bell.
Oh, hit the notification. Hit the little belly thing at the bottom. There's going to be some recommendations throughout the video of other videos that you may like. And that's it. We'll see you next time for another.
Follow us on Facebook.
Oh, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and
TikTok
at Vegan Finds. And we'll see you next time for another installment of British Week.
Rule Britannia.
Okay, we've already had this conversation about the Rule Britannia. So we'll see you next time.
Be safe and be well.
Be safe and be well. Wash your hands and wear a mask.